Charlie Kirk for Nick Fuentes, but seemed like Nick Fuentes became a Democrat now.
No.
Well, I told
Also,
you.
Nick Fuentes is not Mexican. He is disowned. Nick Fuentes is not Mexican. He can drop his last name.
Well, I told you, Nick, what? I called it after they killed Charlie. I said Nick Fuentes is going to rise up in the power vacuum and be the new voice. And he, outside of everybody I've seen, I would say he is the new voice. Whether we like it or disagree, but if you look at the amount of people watching his streams and all of that stuff, and the just the sheer amount, I would say he won the power vacuum.
Also, I might add, for no reason at all,
are coming for us. The Groypers said we have fan mail coming. Please send it to Gray's house. He loves to brag that he's the founder.
Remember that I said that I like her.
Please. Sorry,
I just want to add, for no reason at all, this is not meant to anybody specifically, but it's okay to be gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay. We can biblically affirm our LGBTQ, Lindsey Graham, Nick Fuentes, whoever, please. We love you. Please come out.
Hilarious. I think
keep going.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm like, whether like you agree with his political views, one, I always respect people who are willing to speak their mind and speak it to the fullest, even if I don't agree. And then on top of that too, like the man's funny. He's funny. And whoever touched on there being a vacuum of leadership when they assassinated Charlie Kirk, it's absolutely that. America is looking for leadership, especially the younger generations. They're looking for somebody that they can follow and believe in. And in Charlie, they at least had somebody that they could control. And they didn't think beyond that, just like I feel like they're not thinking beyond Iran. Okay, we remove their leadership. Now what? Then what? And it's like no one really has an answer for then what, So as far as Nick Fuentes goes, he's Nick Fuentes, But let him be. Let him talk what he talks, and sometimes it'd be funny. I'm not even gonna lie. Yes, he's racist, but what's not hilarious about a Mexican white supremacist racist? It's like, come on now, the joke's right.
Who's celibate for some reason or abstinent?
And I love
He's
that.
a good Catholic. Leave him alone on that.
Okay.
Listen, honey.
Into Catholics. There's no such thing as a good Catholic. They
Catholics.
all sin and just do confessional and Hail Marys or whatever the Catholics. They all sin. They just confess it to the Padre and get forgiven. Come on. None of them are good.
America first, which, I mean, he is. When he says America first, he stands by it. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, they stand by it. That's called being principled. So I can respect him for that. Oh, no, he's so good.
So we're going to, speaking of Mexicans, we're going to talk about the Cuba topic. Why should we care about Cuba? There was a coalition in Miami. Trump spoke on it. The next target appears to be Cuba. Here we go.
Rubio is doing a great job. I think he's going to go down as the greatest Secretary of State in history. Look at what we've done as a presidency. Look at what we've done as an administration. They trust Marco, and so do the American people trust. He's been successful no matter where he's been. He also speaks the language, which is always nice and always helpful. But he's dealing, and it may be a friendly takeover. It may not be a friendly takeover. It wouldn't matter because they're down to, as they say, fumes. They have no energy. They have no money. They're in deep trouble on a humanitarian basis. And we don't want to see that, but they were very, very bad to a lot of people, as you know, and a lot of people living the Cuban-American vote, which I got at record levels.
So, Mia, we done went from Greenland to Canada to Iran to Venezuela. To Venezuela to Iran. Now we're talking about Cuba. Does this benefit Americans, and is this America first?
Don't forget Ecuador. We went there too, allegedly. Ecuador. We can't forget Ecuador. Honestly, this just feels like a vendetta from like Marco Rubio. I know he's like descendant from Cuban immigrants, so I feel like there's just some beef there that he's just trying to do, which I don't agree with. But honestly, like the whole thing's just ridiculous. We're doing everything but releasing the rest of the files, putting people in handcuffs, passing legislation. Donald Trump has not signed a single piece of legislation since the day he signed into office till today. Not a single one. They have passed nothing. Literally nothing. Not a single piece of legislation has made it through all 3 chambers. The only thing he has done in his presidency so far is one spending bill, which doesn't count. That's not actual legislation. Congress is supposed to pass a spending bill. That's their job. And a bunch of executive orders, which will be overturned for the next person. So for over a year, we have had not a single piece of legislation. We haven't had a single person in the Epstein's files arrested or anything like that. And we have 14 million kids that are starving. We have almost 800,000 now that are homeless.
My bad, guys. Here we go.
This is the notebook right over here. This is where you bring your rationing notebook to get 1 piece of bread per day. This is the notebook right over here. And you show it over here. And then they'll give you 1 piece of bread. So you get 1 piece of bread, and then sometimes if they have extra, they'll give you 1 egg. Sometimes you'll only get a few eggs per month, not cartons, single eggs. And then if you're lucky, they might give you extras, but don't depend on it.
So unlike Iran, I will say I do believe a lot of Cubans probably want to be free. A lot of them come here in the 1990s. I grew up in Miami, Florida. There were boatloads of people coming. It was really, really bad. I will say I do believe they probably do want to be free. But Ratchet, is this America first? Does this benefit us? Should we liberate the Cubans?
Oh my goodness. First of all, thank you for finding and sharing that clip, because I didn't even know their leadership. All nations have a right to self-determination. And Cuba decided what it was going to be lots and lots of decades ago. And if it wants change, I believe it should have change. But currently, the American people cannot afford to be everywhere, doing everything, helping everybody but the American people. Now is just not the time. So that's what I'm at.
So shout out to Selena. She's our friend. Ratchet, you met her. She said she's watching. I appreciate her watching. She said we should be watching for what the Marines are doing at the moment, specifically ones that are already staged. So that's good insight. We need to be my researchers on the team, Mia, Kimberly, go find what the Marines are doing. It's in the Marines. But this clip right here is for Gray. This is our future potential governor. This is what he had to say.
Stance on Cuba.
Oh, listen, I've long wanted regime change. We have a brutal dictator, murderous communist regime in Cuba. They have destroyed the liberty of the Cuban people for almost, definitely 2 generations. We're now going on the 3rd. They needed to go long ago.
You think the president should be involved in that policy?
First, knowing Donald Trump, he's involved in every policy. Just because one source said something doesn't make it so.
Thanks.
So Gray, what is your thoughts? Do you think as a Floridian that we should want to help Cuba for many reasons? I spoke to a Cuban American, actually, Mika, you can get her opinion tomorrow. We talked about this. Mika's actually Cuban, and she mentioned to me, she brings up some good points. Cuba is very close to Florida, which is very close to America. It's only 90 miles away from Key West. So the friend of my what's the thing you say, Mia? A friend of my friend is my enemy. So nevertheless, I don't know if you all know. Say it. Go ahead and say it.
Oh my God. Now you put me on the spot. I can't think of it. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Enemy of my enemy is my friend. Nevertheless, I don't know if you guys know this, but they do military drills every year with Russia. Okay. Every year, Russia does these military drills 90 miles off the coast of the United States. So based on that and knowing what we know, what is your thoughts, Gray? Do you think we should help these people or keep them as an enemy?
Well, we've been doing this with Cuba since JFK. It was the Bay of the Pigs when they tried to sneak the people in, and then the people got caught, and then they got arrested. And for me personally, my first Spanish teacher was Cuban. And I remember her telling me that she had to fly all the way somewhere else just to be able to fly back to Cuba. But if we talk about Obama had lifted a lot of stuff with Cuba. I remember, because we are in Florida, we have a lot of cruise ports. I remember people were excited because they were like, oh, we get to go on a cruise to Cuba, this, and that. So we were normalizing relations. And then it was like sound waves or something they said hit some tourists or something. And then that's when Trump came in and then he pushed back on the progress that we have with Cuba. But Cuba's a communist country, to answer your question, and Russia's a communist country, but Russia and Cuba have had relations since Fidel Castro. And if we look at what was happening in Cuba before, it was the Italian mafia that had all their gambling and all their businesses there, and the government was corrupt. And that's why Fidel Castro was able to gain power, because Fidel Castro was the bastard son of a wealthy Spanish farm owner, and he was housed with Haitian immigrants and people that were poor, so he understood poor people, became a lawyer, and that's why you have all these Cubans coming here in an influx to America, specifically South Florida.
Well, I'm going to have Kimberly react to this last clip, and then we'll go into closing thoughts. This is what this young man had to say about Cuba.
Nelson Mandela of South Africa got out of prison. Guess which country was the first one he visited? Cuba.
I knew that. Ooh.
When COVID-19 was ravaging the entire world, which country was sending doctors to treat and assist patients? Cuba. Who provided refuge for Assata Shakur and Robert F. Williams, two revolutionary black leaders? Cuba. Who was willing to provide assistance to black folks during Hurricane Katrina when we were being treated like dogs? Cuba. Who was protecting Nicolas Maduro and lost dozens of troops? Cuba. Who has been training a lot of countries' doctors, especially in the Caribbean? Cuba. Who was providing asylum to hundreds of Brazilians who were fleeing the brutal military dictatorship that was ruling the country for over 2 decades? Cuba. So for the rest of the world to not lift their finger while Cuba is under a blockade is morally bankrupt. A lot of y'all would not be where y'all are if it wasn't for Cuba. Cuba could have easily sold out its allies under Henry Kissinger, and Cuba refused to do so. Cuba did not have to sacrifice lives in Angola. They did it though. So for the world to not circumvent the U.S. when it comes to providing Cuba with fuel and solar and renewable energy is mind-boggling, because a lot of countries believe that if they just don't rock the boat, they're not going to get tariffs. The U.S. is going to find a way to tariff you. So why don't you actually push back and tell the U.S. there are consequences for their actions?
So I just have to say, I want to tell a little quick story, and then I'll let Kimberly go. My family I'm half Jamaican. My family's Jamaican on my mother's side. They left Jamaica because of Cuba, because there were fears that communism was coming to Jamaica. So I don't know. People have this idea and this fantasy about communism. I'm just speaking from my own experience. It ain't what you want. And that's just what I wanted to add. But go ahead, Kimberly. What did you agree with in that video, and what did you disagree with, if anything?
Yeah, so I'm not communist, and Cuba's not fully communist either. What was lifted from Cuba that helped momentarily the population of Cuba was the lifting of having them declared as sponsors of terrorism. There's been a blockade in Cuba for over 60 years. It's a collective punishment. The Lancet study that I've been citing ad nauseum says that since 1970, economic sanctions alone, which are a type of warfare, have killed over 38 million people. That includes people in Cuba. And my heart goes out to the people in Cuba. I'm not communist, but if we're going to let communism fail, let's lift the blockade on Cuba. Let communism fail on its own. Narco Rubio was trafficking drugs as a teenager with his brother-in-law, including exotic animals. His family actually left before the Cuban Revolution. So a lot of the Cuban diaspora, I have a lot of Cuban friends, saludos a mis amigos cubanos. A lot of the Cuban diaspora here in the United States are going to be more conservative. You know, it'd be similar to like if right now during the Trump administration, you get a lot of liberals exiting, and a lot of the expat liberals are going to be talking shit about the United States, right? So Trump put back in the declaration of Cuba as a sponsor of terrorism. The United States is the biggest sponsor of terrorism in the world by far. Also, one little minor correction from that guy there in that video, the world actually does speak out against the blockade in Cuba. Every single year, almost every single country votes to end the blockade in Cuba because it's what's impoverishing these people. It's a collective punishment. But because the United States at the United Nations has veto power every year, the United States and Israel vote to keep the blockade on Cuba, it's what's keeping them poor. It's not communism. And again, I'm not communist. Communism is inherently atheist. It's inherently authoritarian. It stifles individuality. It stifles creativity. So I'm not trying to defend communism here, but the reason why Marco Rubio, little Narco Rubio, and a lot of the conservative diaspora of Cubanos want to get, they have like this sort of they want to get rid of the Cuban government there now, because before the Cuban Revolution and Fidel Castro, there were a lot of oligarchs that owned a lot of land, and the Castros went in and took those land and gave it to the people. Also, really quickly, I'm sorry, I'm really passionate about Cuba, but a lot of the trade negotiations that Cuba has with other countries, like with Mexico, is a trade of doctors. Cuba trains a lot of doctors, and they provide humanitarian doctor program, and that's why Mexico was able to, or at least through their agreement, to provide oil to the population of Cuba, which again helps the people of Cuba. And I have my cousin, he's one of my closest cousins. He went to Cuba like 5 years ago, and he told me it was the saddest thing he has ever seen. And I need everybody to understand that Cuba is the way it is because they have had a brutal blockade and sanction for over 60 years. I think the 63 years anniversary of the blockade in Cuba. And Code Pink, along with other organizations, is putting together this huge event, I believe, in Nevada on March 21st to stand up and speak up for the people of Cuba. Again, war is always bad. I'm completely against war, and we need to just honestly leave Cuba alone. It's why they went after Venezuela, because they knew Venezuela was providing a lot of the oil to that very, very poor island.
That's a very good explanation, my little leftist on the panel. Guys, if you're watching, please hit that notification bell so you know when we go live. And guys, before I allow the team to do our closing thoughts, we have a team trip we are doing in April. We are making a documentary. Everybody you see here tonight will be a part of the documentary. Ratchet, good friend of the show, is also coming. She will be a part of the documentary. Maybe we'll have her do some comedy. We'll talk about that because I'm working on what the videos are going to be. Yes. Kim will be there. Mia will be there. And plus a few other members of our team. But we need help, y'all. We need help. Please go to the GoFundMe. Please give. Guys, we never ask. We don't sit here. We don't push super chats all night. We don't beg for money all night. Y'all hang out with us every night. So y'all can at least send $5. We are at 8,900 subscribers right now. Everybody send $1. We would exceed our budget, or exceed our goal. So I need everybody to go to the GoFundMe. Please start giving. Y'all gonna hear me every night till we make this goal, because we got to raise this $5,000, honey. We can do it. Y'all see what gas prices are like. I want to cover everyone's rooms. We are covering everybody's food already. Please, I'm begging you. Me and Gray, we spend our own money week after week for 2 years now, where we barely made profit. I'll be open and honest with y'all. And we never ask for anything. Y'all can at least give $1 and support the team, because when the new party grows, Mia grows, Kimberly grows, Ratchet grows. Support the team, Enzo grows. I know a lot of y'all that are fans of Enzo's in the chat. We never ask for anything. If everyone gave $1, we could meet and exceed our goal. And our team, flights are expensive, guys. Like, seriously, I'm gonna start crying on here every night because y'all can at least give $1. Like, seriously, I will never ask for anything. Go ahead, boo.
If I can add to that, if you guys send $50, I'll send you a picture of my feet.
Kimberly is gorge. Kimberly is gorge. We are working on big things for Kimberly and Mia.
Really?
Mia's been on Anton Daniel's show. Oh my God. She's, Kimberly, we're working on getting her on some leftist panels. So this is opening up doors for people on our team. And don't you want to say you were part of the team from the beginning, guys? Please, I'm begging you. But anyways, Kimberly, since you are willing to send the feet pics on behalf of the team, go ahead and go first.
I will. I have really pretty feet. I have pretty hands and I have pretty feet. I really liked this episode. I wish Enzo was here just to hear him talk about how great Donald Trump is. There's absolutely nothing great about Donald Trump. Also, I'm thinking about getting chin filler because I like how this looks. Do you guys like that? My chin's still a little swollen on this side. I kind of like
Look
that.
what he said about you. You're one of your fans.
I knew there was something about it. What did he say? I don't. What about me? Oh, my feet. I don't know. I don't even know what I was going to say. I'm so embarrassed to ask. Yeah, my politics are the politics of Jesus, peace, love, humanity. If I am wrong, let me be wrong on the side of life and love. And I send you all positive energy. There's a lot going on in the world. Send you all my thank you. Sorry, I got nervous.
Okay. You're done, Kim? All right.
I think so. Yeah.
Mia, what's your closing thoughts?
First and foremost, great episode, great topics. I'm glad everybody's here. It was nice to have, I guess I'll call it ladies' night plus Gray. Thank you, everybody in the chat. If you are not subscribed or following us, please do follow. Please do subscribe. We do this Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And all of our names, all of our usernames you can see in our tagline. So you can follow us too on various social medias. We're all on the popular ones. And I would say, first and foremost, there is a class war going on, and the rich never sacrifice their children. So when you go to vote or when you go to do anything, you need to remember that. The elites never send their sons and daughters to war. They never send their sons and daughters into the military. They never do any of that because they have stacked the system to where they don't have to. They send our children. So just be reminded of that it is a class war out there, and everything that these elitists and our leaders do is basically to help themselves, and very little of it is to help us.
That's deep. Mia, you hit it on the head. Ratchet, our beautiful guest. You have somebody in the chat that says, oh my God, who is that beautiful sister that calls herself the Ratchet Christian? Lord, I'm getting Issa Rae vibes. So true. I agree. Okay, so let everybody know where they can find you, Ratchet, and please let everyone know about your platform.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you all for having me on as a guest. I've been on here a few times, and I just absolutely love being a part of this panel, being a part of the show. It's so balanced, even if it seems like, oh, tonight, like, oh, you guys are all, talking about Trump, whatever. No, this is a very balanced show, and I love that we present the information and then we get to share our opinions about it, because this is truly where the power lies. It's in us having conversations with each other. It's us pushing back against the narratives that the mainstream media is trying to push out there. It's thanks to independent journalism, and this is a part of independent journalism, that they're having a really hard time pushing the propaganda that they did 20 years ago to get us into Iraq. So this is a part of the work. Even the comment section, y'all in the chat cutting up, calling us mentally ill, doing all the things but I even welcome that, and I love that, and shout out to that person who called me beautiful, because hey, that's always nice. But even the ones who are saying that we're mentally ill, this is a part of that, because some of y'all in the chat, you may not be able to have these conversations with your friends, with your families, and so you might take this opportunity to insult us when you really could be taking this opportunity to have a productive conversation, which is what it is that we're trying to do now. And it's easy to leave a comment behind the anonymity of a chat, but we're putting our faces out there on the screen, letting you know that we're real people, we're real opinions, and that we're doing the work behind the scenes. If we're giving our opinion, it's because we're also doing the work outside of this. And so I'm grateful to have a place to share my opinion with like-minded individuals, a place where I can respectfully disagree with people. And so if you all liked what I brought to the conversation, you can find me on all social media platforms. I've been engaging in the chat. I'm on YouTube at The Ratchet Christian. I'm on TikTok, Instagram at The Ratchet Christian. And I do comedy, political commentary, all the things. And I look forward to coming back. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Kim, your friend sent a super chat. Give him a shout out and plug your stuff. You're muted, Boo. You're muted.
Thank you, friend. I don't know who that is, but he's my friend. Thank you. Please keep sending super chats. Share the video. Follow us on all of our social medias. I made a YouTube account the other day. Please follow me on YouTube. It's the same at Kimberly and Now everywhere. Thank you. We love super chats. We'll see you at the. Is there going to be audience in Florida or no?
Yes, I will explain what we're doing after Gray goes.
We'll see you in Florida, friend.
Yeah, y'all go check out Kimberly's stuff. She is giving you that leftist opinion. She's funny. She makes joke skits. So go support her and support Ratchet if you want to laugh. Gray, what's your closing thoughts?
I think one of the greatest things about a new party is the people that come on here and are political commentators. Like, we have a Man Cave show Monday and Wednesday, but I was the only guy here, so I stepped back like a gentleman and let the ladies just take over the show. And it's not a lot of places where you're going to see, just women just debating political stuff. So I feel like that's important about the new party, because we talked about race last night. It's people from all different races. Thank you, Ratchet, for coming. I loved your story about war. Like, it's great to hear people speak from a personal place because it helps you understand it a lot more. So we'll be back here tomorrow with Mika. I'll let Nora explain all of that. Like we always say on a new party, always vote.
Yes, always vote. Guys, thank you so much to our team. Shout out to Ratchet. Ratchet came on when we had like 3,000-4,000 subs, honey. She believed in it. She came through, and the team has just evolved. Could not do this without our team. So shout out to Kimberly. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Enzo. Shout out to Andre Williams, Kamal, Rippy, who am I forgetting? Slim, Doc, and Skeptic. Ken and Skeptic. Let me not forget them too. So we could not do this without them. So thank you for subscribing. So guys, if you enjoyed tonight, you are definitely going to enjoy tomorrow night. We have someone very, very special coming onto the show. Mika, aka Mika Pop Culture Mika, will be coming on, aka now the Messy Conservative. So you definitely want to come and support her. Please, please, please come support her. She was on Tasha K recently, so she's been doing big things. So come back tomorrow. She will explain. We'll be talking about the culture war. We'll be talking about, did MAGA and Republicans lose the midterms before it even happened with this? So she'll be explaining why they have not. We also were on BBC together. You guys can go check that video out. We were interviewed by BBC Radio, so definitely go and support. But let's talk about this documentary real quick. Okay, this documentary real quick. We got a documentary coming in June, okay? If you guys give money on our GoFundMe below, those of you that give money, you will be getting credited in our closing credits. Go to the GoFundMe right now. I need everybody to give $1. I know gas is expensive, but we really appreciate y'all. The team, we will be doing in real life content in a real studio. We will be interviewing the team. What does politics mean to you? We will be asking everybody about their story, their backstory. Why did they get into political content? Where do they see the future of America? So it's very, very important. Very, very important. Okay. Again, support us. We appreciate you. So yes, we will be in a professional studio making content for you, as well as having, camaraderie. You get to know us on a more personal level. Like Ratchet said, we are real people. So please support us. We got big things coming. Also, guys, Sunday night, we have a big debate. We have the moderator for Opinionated Girl coming to debate Andre on anti-Semitism and why it's rising among the youth. Andre will be saying why he doesn't think it is anti-Semitism to be critical, but they will be having people there defending and saying, hey, y'all are going a little bit too far with this. This is where we go into the anti-Semitic realm. So definitely, please come back. Please. Kimberly says she'll be watching it. So anyways, guys, have a good night. God bless. Stay safe.
Before we wrap, I want to take a quick moment to talk about how you can support the new party. We are an independent media platform. No corporate backers, no political handlers, just a collection of voices representing all American viewpoints, especially the stories they don't want you talking about.
I'm disgusted with our government, and it doesn't matter which party you're talking about. I'm disgusted.
We are watching an active genocide. I don't know how else to put it. There are thousands of people getting killed every day.
This is the first time in history that an American cardinal has ever been elevated to pope. It is legitimately make America great again.
Yeah.
Like, they're fighting for illegal immigrants, not immigrants. Illegal. Like, and they burning the flag and shit.
Like I always say, it was a great episode. I'm happy with the wins that Donald Trump's.
Like you heard Nora Skeptic say, we're going to keep bringing like different types of content and things that we know people want to see. And like we always say on the New Party, always vote.
If you believe Americans can still have civil discourse, even in these polarizing times, we need your help to stay independent and keep growing. You can support us by donating to our GoFundMe page, becoming a channel member, sending a super chat, or grabbing merch from the New Party store. Every donation goes directly toward growing the channel promotion and our upcoming documentary. And as a thank you, donors will receive an exclusive copy of the documentary 1 week before it premieres. Who is the New Party? We're you, your voice, your stories, your America. We can only do this together. So if you're able, please donate and help us get the message out.